good day. My name is Jim Biggins. I'm with the Alpha Media Group of radio stations, including WSGW, AM and FM, WGER, The Core 106.3, WTSE, KISS 107, and my home station as well, 94.5, The Moose. The Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, we have some representatives that we're speaking with today. Talk about healthcare on the move. Well, literally healthcare on the move today. And I'd like to bring in, first of all, Tiffany. Tiffany is a nurse practitioner with the Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, and you are inside a bus. That's the fanciest bus I think I've ever seen.
I sure am. Hi, Jim. Thanks for having us. This is what you're looking at is the inside of our new mobile medical bus. Our fleet at Great Lakes Bay Health Center has two full mobile health buses that are for primary care, behavioral health care, and substance abuse. And then we have 4 dental buses, and we're currently raising funds for a new dental bus that will also bring vision services.
How long has this been around, and where did this all start? Because I know people see the buses in the community, but unless you've been inside, you might not know the history, you might not know services offered. Can you give us a little background?
Sure. Our mobile program actually started through our Migrant Health Services program, which has been around for a couple decades, actually. They started with services, just taking some kind of basic healthcare services out into the migrant fields during the migrant season here in Michigan, which is actually, we're just starting their season now. They're just getting underway, and they will go pretty strong until mid-October. The program kind of launched from there, and our past mental health director had an idea to apply for some grants for a actual medical bus to provide substance abuse services and behavioral health services, and we've just grown from there. So on this particular bus, we have 2 full patient rooms. We do primary health, so anything anybody needs for primary health care, and then we also do behavioral health. So if somebody has psychiatric needs or questions, or they need a provider, or they would like to get into therapy or any kind of services. And then we do a little bit of substance abuse treatment on the bus, but most of those patients we do refer to our Davenport program. And then just recently we started a statewide tele-prep program, which is a prep program for anybody who's interested to get on prep right from the comfort of their own home.
Wow, that's pretty remarkable. Now, where does the bus go? How is it assigned? People who might be in a position where, that type of care is appropriate for them. How does that all work?
Sure. We see patients all over the Great Lakes Bay region. And so we have multiple sites that we go to that are sort of like assigned sites where we have an agreement with a specific facility, like a shelter or the soup kitchen. We go to Delta College. We go to the Eastside Soup Kitchen. We go to a lot of residential rehabilitation homes. And we go to the Hearth Home, which is one of our own Great Lakes Bay offices on Mondays. And the whole point is essentially just to kind of bring healthcare to the people. So anybody can receive services on the bus. Some of the patients we see don't have a provider, and maybe they're new to the area or they're in the neighborhood and they just need to get set up for healthcare. Some of our patients are actually patients who have healthcare providers and they just couldn't get in the office that day, or their provider may be gone, or there's a wait for a week and they have an acute illness that needs to be taken care of today. And so those patients are welcome to just come and hop on the bus and see us. We do have an open site, which is our Hearth Home on Mondays, and at that site anybody can come and be seen on the bus. And then we also have an open site locally at the Eastside Soup Kitchen, and we go there on Thursdays and Fridays. The schedule does vary, but at that site, anybody can step up and be seen as well.
For anybody who might be interested in care, is there a way for them to find out where you will be on any particular day of the month? Or
Sure. The Great Lakes Bay website has all the information. The mobile health program actually has its own site on that website. So you just click on that and it takes you right to our information, gives you the telephone number to contact the bus staff or the scheduling staff, and kind of tells people a little bit about the bus program in general. But anybody who needs care can come and see me.
Excellent. Do people have to be concerned, about having insurance or the rest before they get care, or how does all that work?
No, like any other Great Lakes Bay service, if folks have insurance, the insurance will be billed for the visit. For patients that don't have insurance, they'll get put on a sliding scale fee system and can be seen for very low cost, and even receive medications for pennies on the dollar if that's the case. And then we will help patients actually to get enrolled with insurance services if that's a concern of theirs, but nobody would be turned away. If somebody steps up to the bus and they need help, we're going to find them the help they need regardless.
Do you find that it's important that we tell that part of the story? Because I know we all probably know somebody who has been not getting the care that they probably need and know that they need, but they're afraid to go somewhere, or they're worried about the cost, or
Right.
is that one of the most important parts of the story we need to share?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the patients that we're seeing, more and more in healthcare, we're seeing patients who have been diagnosed with chronic illnesses, sometimes months or even weeks or decades ago, and have fallen out of healthcare for some reason. And so they're walking around with these chronic diagnoses and not getting the treatment that they really need. And so when they come to the bus, we make it very clear, we're going to see you, we're going to help you, we're going to bring you back into care, get you back on medications and back on the road. Like, we want people to be healthy. And so, when you don't know where you're going to sleep tonight, and you don't know what you're going to eat all week or what your kids are going to eat, healthcare does fall low on your priority list, but
Sure.
it falls high on our priority list. And so our job is to just help people, to get them back into care, get them back on the road to health. And people know anybody can come and be seen.
That is so wonderful, because I think, especially if you're in a difficult situation financially, or work, or housing, you're scared. You're scared to go anywhere. You're scared to be turned down. You've probably been turned down for something several times, and there's a point at which it's very defeating. So knowing that this option exists, that's very important that we get that word out about that.
We're seeing a lot of people now that we're post-pandemic. We're seeing a lot of folks at Delta College who are actually returning to school as secondary students or later in life students. They had a career, or they had a job path, and were doing well, but either the pandemic changed that for them, or some circumstance changed that for them. And so those are also folks who have fallen out of care. They lost insurance, they couldn't be seen, their physician didn't maybe accept the insurance that they were able to get through the marketplace. But we'll see anybody. And so when people come on the bus, we check about their insurance, we offer them insurance information, we get them on a sliding fee. We do everything we can to help them be taken care of.
Oh, that is so outstanding. Can we see a little more of the bus?
Sure, come on through. So the area here that you're looking at this is the main exam room, essentially. And so we can do anything on the bus really that a patient needs. We can do minor procedures on the bus. We do basic healthcare checks. We do, physicals. We actually draw our own labs here on the bus. Our medical assistant is also a phlebotomist. So we draw all of our own labs. We can do, urinalysis, things like that for folks. We can do, simple orthopedic things like air casts and bracing and that sort of thing. But this is kind of the main exam room. We are connected to our office through our fax copy machine here. And we are on the bus every day. This bus is on the road 5 days a week, and our team goes everywhere together.
That's pretty remarkable that you can get all that in there. And I guess having the connection to the office as well, does that allow you to do things that you couldn't do just on the bus alone?
Well, the connection with the office allows us to get in contact with anybody that we need at any site. So if, for example, I'm seeing a patient on the bus who says, I'm really interested in your substance abuse program and would really like to get set up into therapy or into the substance abuse program, I can literally just on my computer kind of send an instant message to somebody at that site at Davenport and get them all the information and give them the patient's information and have everything put in place with an appointment, time, and date, and hand the patient the card before they leave. And everything's kind of in motion. And that's the whole point of this bus, is to bring care to people who would not otherwise be able to access care.
Oh, that's outstanding. That is so outstanding. In our community too, when a person has fallen out of a regular healthcare routine for a period of time, there may be some catch up that needs
Right.
to be done, medicines, whatever. If we know someone who is in that situation, because a lot of times that person might not take that first step on their own.
Right.
Do we contact Great Lakes Bay Health Centers to,
Yep.
or do we get that person to contact Great Lakes Bay? What is the best path?
Either way, the easiest way obviously is always to have patients contact us themselves. But if it's a minor or somebody that has a court assisted guardian or some sort of situation where they have an advocate, that person can always call us as well. When patients call, they just basically tell our call center operators what they're calling for, and the operators send that call to the appropriate extension. And in our case, those calls all come to our main bus phone, and we have a couple of staff members, both our nurse and our driver / scheduler, answer our phone and get people set up for care based on wherever they are geographically and what their needs are.
Very good. Very good. I know that we will be talking a little bit about how people can donate, how they can help, but I'm going to save that for a little bit. Anything more on this bus? Because I know we have more than one to visit today.
No, this is the medical bus, and we're happy to be here, and we're happy to bring all the care that we can to the folks of the Great Lakes Bay region, and we just really appreciate this time today to be able to tell you more about our program. On the exit here, you can just kind of take a look at our other end of our bus. So this is the opposite end of the bus, and this is what we call the back of the bus. This would be the secondary patient exam room. So we do actually have 2 full exam rooms going. Sometimes through the day, it's not unusual. We only have 1 provider on the bus at a time, but we do have a full-time registered nurse. And so she can do nursing visits, education visits, dietary counseling. She does things like counseling and educating patients for their glucose monitors and insulin injections, things like that. So we're all inclusive here.
You know, it's amazing too. Even when a person is aware of their condition, if they're not kind of coached and informed to maintain that proper care, and the only person you're going to get that from is a professional. You don't want, you know, your Uncle Bob telling you what to do. You need a professional. And so having the bus, what area in total do you serve?
So our primary services include Saginaw, Bay City. We do go to Midland 1 day a week. We go into the Thumb on occasion. We don't have a set site there right now, but we go to multiple sites through Saginaw City and through Bay City. And most of those are sites where if somebody needs arrangements made, we can make arrangements for them to be seen at one of the sites in one of the towns at least. So like in Bay City, we're at the Good Samaritan. But then we also go to the Bay City Housing Commission, which is an open site. So we do have availability. If people need to be seen, we're going to get them seen.
That's outstanding. You know, and because I think a lot of times if your difficulties involve, you know, maybe not having a job at the moment or housing issues or whatever, transportation becomes the other issue. Yep. And not being able to get to someone that's far away. You know, yep. It's great. The bus comes close to you. And
the bus comes to you. Well, we come as close as we can. We often have class, we go to their house. Fortunately, the bus won't go to your house, but we can get close. And Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, as an organization, does also offer transportation to our patients for our visits. So if we are in Bay City and a patient needs to be seen, but they maybe live on the opposite end of Bay City and just have no way to get there, we can arrange for one of our transportation vehicles to pick patients up and bring them to us.
That's outstanding. I mean, I have heard many stories where transportation was the missing link to proper health care. Outstanding, Tiffany. Thank you so much. Is there anything else we need to know about the medical bus before we shift gears?
Forward to the dental bus. They have lots for you to see and hear about as well, and lots of exciting changes with their program coming.
All righty. Great Lakes Bay Healthcare. Boy, look at that giant molar.
So this is one of our dental buses. We have 4 total.
Wow. 1 medical and 4 dental?
Well, we have 2 medical buses. We have 1 full-time medical team, and then we also have our migrant bus. So medical services on 3 buses.
Very good. Oh, that's outstanding. That's outstanding.
My name is Jenny Lee Kaiser. I'm a dental hygienist and the mobile dental coordinator for the Smiles Are Everywhere mobile dental program.
How are you today, Jenny Lee?
Oh, thanks for having us.
Good. I can see right behind you, you know, that looks very, very familiar. That looks like exactly the setup that you would see in pretty much any dentist's office you went to anywhere.
You know, it's funny. We hear that all the time. A lot of our patients, mostly the kids, will walk up on the bus when we're at their school and they walk in and they say, it even smells like a dentist's office. Real dentist's office. We just come to you. So we go to over 140 schools. And that is a travel range. We always say a radius within about an hour and 20 minutes within Saginaw. So far south as Peary and Langsburg, as far west as Mount Pleasant. We go to schools up in the Thumb, and then as far north as Gladwin.
Wow.
So road fully scheduled for the school year, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4 at 140 different schools with 3 fully functional and fully staffed dental buses. So far this year, we've been able to service 5,000 students in the schools.
Wow.
It helps a lot of families. Some parents call me and say, you know, we do have insurance, but my child just wants to be seen on the dental bus. They want to go to the dentist. Try to stop them. And they say, how do you get them excited about it? And we say, what's more exciting than a big RV? They get to go with their friends too. So it makes it a little bit more fun.
Yeah, I bet that does. That does. For families who are wondering, where the dental buses will be and when, is there a master calendar? Do you share the information through the schools? How does that work?
We do not have a master calendar. One reason for security purposes for this school,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
sure that we're keeping that private as well. But we also they can give me a call and see when the dental bus is going to be at their child's school.
Mhm.
Phone number is 989-921-4393. The other reason we don't supply the master calendar is because unlike mobile medical, we could have snow days within our schools,
Oh, yeah.
mechanical issues with the buses. So we don't want families to depend on us being there if one of those issues comes up. So it's very flexible. We can go to a school if there's one child that signs up or if there's 100. So the year before, I try and gauge how many students based on the free and reduced lunch count in the schools. How
Mhm.
many students do we think are going to need this service? And that's when I reach out to the school and schedule for the entire following school year.
When you come to a school and I'm guessing there's some kids who are on one hand excited, and there's other kids who are a little terrified because it's a dentist's office.
Right.
Um, what does it seem like when the kids are done? Do you see smiles on their faces? How does it make you feel? How are they feeling?
It absolutely. It's very rare to have somebody that's timid on the bus though, because it's not like going to a dentist. For some reason, they get on the RV. We have TVs on the ceiling on this side of it, so when the chair is laid back, they're actually watching a show. So we're very geared up for peds friendly. We see 95% of our patient base is, I would say, the age from 2 to maybe 12 years old. Otherwise, we will as early as 6 months old. As soon as that first tooth pops up, all the way into adulthood. But the bulk of our patient base would be early elementary to elementary ages. When the dental bus pulls up to the school, you can see the kids inside looking out the window going, the dental bus is here, the dental bus is here. It's just, I don't know what we've done, but they get so excited about it. Everybody on the bus gets a cleaning, fluoride treatment, dental sealants to help prevent any cavities, and then an exam with our dentist. That's another thing people always ask, well, are you guys a real dentist? I mean, it's a bus. We have dentists, real dental hygienists, real dental assistants, and 3 dental clerk drivers.
Outstanding, outstanding. If and I don't know, I'm a curious person. If a youngster has a dental issue that cannot be completely addressed at that visit, is there a next step or something that should follow? How does that work?
Absolutely. So what we do on the bus is we do a lot of their preventative work. We don't have a parent here with them, so we can start any of the treatment that we would normally need consent for. So if Dr. Thompson, our dental director, does see that they have a cavity, regardless if they have a cavity or not, every student goes home with one of our little dental report cards that we've made.
Oh, okay.
It tells the parent what they've had done. I had a cleaning, exam, fluoride treatment, and here's the next time I'm going to be due. If they do have any follow-up care that's needed, we give them a list of our offices. Our phone number is on there if they have urgent care that's needed, if there's an abscess or an infection. The team will stop, call out to the family, get their health history information, check for allergies, call in the antibiotic for them so they can pick it up right after school. If they need further treatment, that what we can offer at our dental centers, and they need strictly peds and some type of sedation, we also have a list of pediatric dentists that we refer to.
That is so complete. I'm very impressed with how well thought out this is, because it can't be easy having to adapt everything that you would normally have in an office in a medical facility and somehow squeeze it all into a vehicle and
Right.
then be as flexible as you need to be, especially knowing that you're going to see a lot of patients that you're seeing for the first time, or maybe they're even seeing, a dental professional for the first time. And so you don't know what you're going to come across.
It takes a specific personality to work in this industry, but also on buses. Yeah, so it's really cool what we do. And what you just said, it seems really cool, and all of it's just really thought out. Mobile dental, this is over 20 years in the making too. So we started back in 2003, started with actually portable equipment that we went into the schools. From there, we applied for a grant, got our first bus that was in the fleet, and now we're up to 4 buses. Myself, as a dental hygienist and the coordinator, I go out to the schools ahead of time to get the children excited about the dental bus, but also talk about oral hygiene practices. After all, not everybody is going to sign up for the dental bus, but everybody needs a little bit of a reminder about their oral.
Sure.
So I go into the classrooms, gear them up for it, hand out our consent forms, and get them ready to come out. I can't tell you how many times when I give them their little incentive prize for bringing that consent form back, how many students have to bring that so close to their face. Or on the bus, when we go to hand them a toothbrush, they get to pick out toothbrushes and how close they have to get for it. And we just started thinking, we're already in the schools. Why can't we bring vision care here too? So that's our goal today of this fundraiser, is getting vision on one of our buses. We're at the school anyways. We have access to the kids, and break another barrier for them. We have so many families that just say, I can't get them to their doctor appointment, or their kids, they've broken their third pair of glasses this month. What are we going to do? It just breaks our hearts. And we always used to think that that dentistry was our passion, but it turns out helping people is our passion. So we want to bring as much care to them as possible and utilize these vehicles that come right to them.
It's amazing when you think about it too, because one of the biggest challenges, I'm sure, for teachers, and oddly enough, this happens to be National Teachers Day. Didn't know if you knew that. But if kids are distracted, either because a health issue, maybe something related to dental, maybe something medical, or they're simply not seeing the board well, not seeing the video screen well. There's so many simple barriers that could be key to really opening up, the kids' potential in education so much better.
Yeah, a lot of us take our eyesight and pain-free lifestyle for granted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how do you have kind of a target for when you hope to be able to develop the eye care aspect of this, or?
Hopefully as soon as possible. The reason being, I talked about our 4 dental buses. We have one that is, and honestly, I could have 4 buses fully scheduled and on the road right now, but we have to keep the 4th one kind of as a rotating bus because their vehicles, they have mechanical issues. Sure. Or things that are required. So when one goes down, we don't want to be without. We can't reschedule these schools. If we miss that window, we miss the school, and that absolutely crushes us. Knock on wood, that's never happened. We've been able to be so flexible, and the team works so hard. We always find a way to make it happen. But our oldest bus is a 2003 Winnebago.
Okay.
So at 21 years old and being on the road as much as it is, especially in Michigan, these vehicles are not made to be out in this Michigan weather. So we're pretty hard on them. At least that's what.
Yeah, most of us put our campers away come September, and that's just when you're getting rolling. Have you had times when a student clearly has never been on board and they're a little scared, and then maybe their friend who the year before, had been on board and kind of takes him by the hand and shows? I'm just curious what that's like when those kids are coming out.
Absolutely. You'll usually see a couple of friends who develop that bond. The one will stand, the dental bus is here, and the other one kind of sits in their seat a little bit. That's another of our driver clerks as they go to the classroom, introduce themselves and say, hey, I'm the dental clerk driver. I'm here to and we have a list of students that have signed up. We've already processed their insurances, making sure that they are eligible. If they are not eligible, we try to get these consent forms turned in time that we can reach out to one of our caseworkers or their caseworker to get them enrolled in an insurance plan, or we reach out to the family and offer our $40 fee. The $40 fee is based off of income, and that's the lowest it could go. The last I researched it, every service that we provide on the bus, if you were to have those same services, private practice, it's $276, and we offer it for $40. So a lot of families that it seems like they'll have medical insurance, but dental insurance is just another additional cost that they have to pay for. So if they're going to go without one, they'll drop dental.
Sure.
So our $40 slide fee comes in handy for a lot of families.
And if a family has, 3-4 kids, boy, it just it adds up so fast. Yeah. Another bus. How much difference would that make? Because I know you have a fundraiser. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment.
Yeah,
but
so
how much of an impact does that really make, you think?
This is the bus that we're going to be touring today. As you can hear the reverse signal there, we have another one coming in right now. But I do want to show you this unit. This is our fully accessible bus. So this is actually a wheelchair lift. If we went out on these will move out of the way. But this bus also allows us to be able to see any students or elderly people or adults that have a wheelchair. Even if they can't go up the bus steps, because that tends to be a little bit tricky sometimes too, we can get them up on our wheelchair lift. So we are very fortunate to have this bus in our fleet. It allows us to see a lot of kiddos that would not be seen. So that's Saginaw ISDs, any special needs schools, or just somebody that's in the gen eds and they're in a wheelchair.
Outstanding. You know, it looks like there's an awful lot more in there than would meet the eye if you were just driving down the road there.
Correct. So what we envision, I mean, even parents when they come on, if they do get to come out, they go, "Oh my gosh, I thought it was just a bus." Like they just think it's a school bus, and then they get on and they're like, "Wow, like it's an actual dentist's office." So what we're currently envisioning, if we can get enough funds together, we are hopeful that our optical or our vision side of it could be here in the back unit of the bus. Vision needs a certain amount of range to do their readings, and then up in the front, we would keep it similar to this, where we have our 2 operatories. If Tiffany can show you the waiting bench there too, we bring out a handful of kiddos at a time so they can kind of get geared up. But this is our little waiting area. They sit here on the bench. Normally we can get about 6 bottoms on the bench, and then they get to sit here and watch TV until it's their turn. So
it's probably nice that they have a friend or two sitting there with them, because some of them, I'm sure, you know, it might be a first time. They might be very, very nervous.
Absolutely. We get a couple that are nervous, but for the most part, they think it's a little field trip. A lot of them ask us to take them to McDonald's, and we say, nope, we can't take you to McDonald's. So
A little hard to get it through the drive-through, I imagine.
What's that?
A little hard to get the bus through the drive-through.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. Outstanding. Let's talk about the fundraising. How is all of this paid for? And let's talk about how you want to raise money for, I know, a new vehicle as we move forward.
We are looking to gather funds, and I believe your team is going to supply a link at the bottom there. But we are looking for funds to be able to retire our 21-year-old Winnebago, put it to rest, and get a new and improved bus for our students. They deserve it. And we want to be able to bring not only more dental to them, keep these buses on the road more and expand, but also be able to offer vision. As I said, we're there anyways. So it's
yeah. If you can do both in one, and that,
correct.
I'm trying to envision that's a lot of medical service to provide in a mobile vehicle, but it's both such essential services for those who need that care.
Yes.
Wow, that's outstanding.
The number one reason for missed school or missed school hours is dental pain.
Really?
Yep. It's actually dental pain. Okay. Fortunately and unfortunately, dental cavities are fully preventable. So we're trying to put up a good fight against these dental cavities. Yeah, and then
I'm sure there's an education component to that, and you touched on that a bit, going in and kind of educating the kids and encouraging them. Any general advice for parents right now? Because I'm sure a lot of parents struggle to get the kids in those habits early.
Yes. As a dental hygienist, my biggest thing would be baby teeth do matter. We have so many parents that say it's just a baby tooth, they're fine. Dental infections in a small child are actually life-threatening. They can die.
Really?
It can take over their body and they can die from it at such a low weight. So we always get them on an antibiotic when it's indicated by our dentist. Otherwise, yeah, baby teeth do matter. They hold the space for the adult tooth to come in. If we lose a baby tooth too early because it has a large cavity or an infection and we have to extract that tooth at one of our dental centers, the adult tooth comes in too soon or prematurely, and their jaw hasn't grown enough to allow it to come in. So then not only are we looking at painful eruption of that tooth, we're also looking at future of braces, which no family wants to face either. So that's quite an expense there. But a lot of it too is the confidence of the child. A lot of it is being able to talk or smile or learning how to enunciate their words. We've seen so many children that have full extractions in the front and they have a speech impediment because of it, because their teeth aren't coming in yet, because it's not the age that they were supposed to be removed. Most of your primary molars or your baby molars would not come out until you're about 11 or 12 years old. So if you have an infection on one of them and that tooth has to be pulled, you're without that tooth for about 5 or 6 years, or the other tooth comes in prematurely when there's no space for it. So there's a lot of reason that baby teeth are important. I think that's the number one thing that I talk to parents about is they absolutely matter. They're a space holder.
And this is the first time I'm a parent that I've heard of these things, and it's that's scary important stuff. I mean, that's
It
boy,
is.
maybe we need a component to elevate how much education we're doing for parents too, because I'm sure a lot of parents just aren't aware of how serious that could be.
Right. So I kind of use the students in the schools to educate their families too, because I go in the classroom and I say, how many times a day are we supposed to be brushing? And most will say one. And I say, well, really, it's supposed to be two. So even if your adults at home don't brush 2 times a day, now you guys can go home and get your whole family brushing 2 times a day and improve your whole family's smile. And they're like, oh my gosh, I can.
Yeah.
Other thing that I do though is I do a lot of parent events within our Head Starts. So we try and catch these students when they're really little. And then the parents that come out, that's where I can educate them when they come to these parent meetings for their Head Start students. So I also try and catch them there.
That's good. That's good. When I was raising my kids, I didn't have that information, and I could identify classmates of my boys who, the ones who wouldn't smile, and you could see the lack of confidence, and you wonder how many other ways that was affecting them in the course of a school day, because that's where you would see them. And
Yes.
that's excellent information, Jenny. Thank you for that. I'm
Happy to be here.
spread that some more. Well, let's talk about what it's going to take to do this fundraising. How can people step up? A community service like this is so outstanding, and if there's any way to expand it, we need to get the community on board.
I would say no donation is too few. We will take any donation that we can get. If you think about it this way, every donation goes towards another child that can be seen on the bus that most likely would not have the opportunity. If we have a bus that goes down, a lot of students are going to be hurting because we just couldn't get there. So we're teetering on that right now.
Yeah. You'll see the information. It's crawling across the bottom of the screen on ways that you can donate with a credit card. There's ways you can mail a check. All that information is down there. This is such a valuable service. I mean, I can't believe I have adult children now, and I'm still learning stuff about kids.
That's okay. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Well, one of these days I'll share that with grandkids or something like that, I suppose.
Bring on out. We'll see them, and then I'll pass them over to Tiffany. Okay.
Absolutely. Anything else we need to know about the mobile dental services, Jenny Lee?
No, I think we covered quite a bit of it.
Awesome.
Questions, they can get our phone number again. It's 989-921-4393.
Excellent. Outstanding. I so appreciate that. I don't know if Tiffany has anything else she wants to add. I hope we didn't miss anything. And I don't know.
No.
Okay.
No, we're just happy to be here, Jim. Thanks for
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if you were behind the camera or still back on the other bus, or where you might have been at that moment.
We're a 2-woman show today.
All right. Outstanding. Well done, both of you, Jenny Lee, Tiffany. So much valuable information. If you are in a position, and I'm going to kind of point out to business owners as well as private folks, this is an outstanding way to support your community. I've always been of the belief that if you get kids off to a good start, they got a shot at a good finish. And it's just hard to imagine a kid who's missing school because of tooth pain, or not doing well in school because they can't see the board well, but nobody has figured out yet that vision issue is there because they've never been tested. This is something as simple as that. And the solution could be in the back of the vehicle that Jenny Lee is standing in right now. So that's the goal.
To help us break the barriers,
Absolutely. Outstanding. All right. Well, any more questions? There are phone numbers there. Anything you want to add, Jenny Lee or Tiffany?
All set. Thank you so
No.
much.
Thanks so much.
My pleasure. All right. Great Lakes Bay Health Centers. Please take a look at the crawl across the bottom. You can always call if you need more information, but greatlakesbayhealthcenters.org/donate is the easiest way to do it. If you got stamps around the house, I can never find them when I need them. You can mail a check too. That's fine. I know some people don't like to give online. That's totally fine too. But if you do the check, make sure it's attention Changing Lives, 501 Lapeer, Saginaw 48607. Great Lakes Bay Health Centers doing outstanding work in our community, and let's support them 100% so that our kids and our neighbors and our community, let's get healthier, let's get happier, let's make the awesome happen. Thank you so much.